Bam, what up, Yang Gang? Welcome back to the Low. We're going to be covering another article today about the Joe Biden administration. Per this Vox article, has record numbers of children in cages at the border, and we don't hear much about it. The left-leaning media is being mighty quiet all of a sudden. And of course, it's all you hear on Fox News and all the other whack jobs over there on the right. So, yeah, Mia, we got this article. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. More than 3,700 children were reportedly being detained in Customs and Border Protection as of Wednesday in facilities originally intended for adults. They've been there longer than legally permitted. They've been there longer than legally permitted.
Perfect.
Several factors exacerbate the problem, including pandemic restrictions that have reduced capacity in suitable shelters. Those shelters are now full. To help address the problem, FEMA will assist in providing food, clothing, and shelter for unaccompanied children over the next 90 days. The problem is also deeply entrenched, unsolved since at least 2014 and unresolved during the Trump administration, which had turned away unaccompanied children, resulting in many being stranded in Mexico. Biden's reversal of this policy creates an influx of those cases and new arrivals, which fall on him and his administration to resolve. It is important to note that most migrants are still being turned away, a policy tied to reducing the spread of COVID. And it goes on from there.
So again, this is the Vox article here. I want to highlight this section that says, though the White House has declined so far to call it a crisis, the situation is increasingly dire. As of Wednesday, more than 3,700 children reportedly being detained in Customs and Border Protection temporary holding facilities designed for adults for longer than legally permitted, a record high. There are some facilities that generated widespread outrage under the Trump administration, while children slept with nothing but Mylar blankets to keep them warm at night on concrete floors. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said Saturday that the CBP facility is no place for a child, but the border agents are working around the clock in difficult circumstances to take care of children temporarily in our care. It says the officials are struggling to quickly transfer them to state licensed shelters for migrant children, which had to drastically slash their capacity amid the pandemic, and where beds are now full, that has forced administration to reopen temporary tent facilities in Carrizo Springs, Texas, which are costly and not subject to the same level of oversight as permanent shelters. Oh boy. On Saturday, the administration also announced that the Federal Emergency Management Agency would help receive, shelter, and transfer unaccompanied children over the next 90 days. The agency is now working to expand the capacity of shelters designed to administer care to children. I think the most important part here is the whole pandemic response. You used to have these people shoulder to shoulder in cots everywhere, right? And now you got to have them 6 feet apart and all that kind of stuff, and more protocols in place. So that could be a pretty tough place to be in.
It absolutely reduces the efficiency, obviously, of how many people you can keep comfortably. It's a real problem, and I think that FEMA helping is at least a good start. I think that they should be working to move them not into tents, but maybe into hotel spaces and such. I mean, if there's something that it's worth adding to the budget for, it's making sure that children are in clean and safe places.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Just like back when the Trump administration was going on, they called it a herd of immigrants coming. What they call a caravan. That's right. That happens every spring. Let's just be real. There's a couple thousands of people that come from Central America where our policies have destabilized their regions, and it's either die or leave. And so they start walking north, and they are claiming asylum. And under the Trump administration, they would make them stay in Mexico. That drove down the numbers. And now that Biden says, hey, we got to let people in for asylum, now they have record numbers again. And there's been too much focus on too many other things to really, I couldn't imagine being a president right now, trying to fix everything at once. And this is impossible. unfortunately, these children are the ones paying the price for our horrible policies and our lack of preparation and funding down there.
Yeah,
I don't.
I would be happy with whatever funding they were willing to give. I would
Yeah.
not question it. I mean, if we can fund bombs without question, we should be able to fund human lives without question.
Yeah, and the immigration court is underfunded, understaffed, so we need to expand the courts for the immigration crisis down there. And the asylum, I think it's called the asylum courts specifically, but yeah, we need more representation down there for the people. We should not have 8-9-year-old children representing themselves in court. That is pure trauma as far as I'm concerned. That is disgusting and damn near unforgivable, because these kids are traumatized for life. I couldn't imagine being in a foreign country where you might not even speak the language and then have them give you a translator to translate it for you, and that's it.
I mean, there's no
Where am
way
I
to
going? I don't
soft
know.
in that situation for a kid. There's none.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't child friendly a courtroom. There's nothing you can do to make that place any less traumatizing than you're surrounded by authority figures who determine the future of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're too young to process that.
So the big thing is there's no funding and there's no priority. The priority was the COVID response, stimulate the economy. Okay, they just passed this package. You got HR1 coming down the pipeline, and now we got the crisis in the border of children in cages once again. So I think we need to maybe reassess our budget. So we're not saying $780 billion a year in the war machine. Let's put it into the real crisis. The real war is on, I guess you'd say, our policies that make this place destabilize the Central America.
Gosh, it sounds like it'd be a really good time for some human-centered capitalism.
Yeah, man. Definitely would be that.
Just maybe.
But don't forget, we've got a couple of hundred children that have been separated from their parents over the past 2 years that still have not been reunited with their families either. So there's some real problems going on down there. And we really do need to take care of people. These people come here for help, not to exploit us, not to take advantage of us, not to steal your precious, stupid-ass jobs you think they're taking, dumbass.
In fact, a lot of them, as you mentioned earlier, are fleeing from exploitation that has been a ripple effect of our economy.
We created the crisis. So we have to create the solution, But yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys think about this in the comments section, because we do have a problem. And if you guys have any ideas for how to fix this situation, we've created this problem. Now we have children in cages again. And I know the right wants to talk about these are the cages Obama built, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit who built them. All I care is about we're using them for the wrong purposes. We're putting children in cages, and Biden was left a mess. I get it. But there's got to be resources, emergency funding to go down and say, listen, we've got to find a better way of doing this. And I know it's an impossible ask for the government, for the administration to go, okay, fix it today.
My county built a jailhouse, let's say. I'm not bothered by there being a jailhouse, but if they start locking up 5-year-olds, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Oh my God. Yeah. Again, the trauma. Those places are made to scare the shit out of adults. And it does. And it's effective, but children, man, look like an actual dungeon. You've seen these pictures, these places. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comment section. While you're here, go give the video a like and leave us a comment. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. Let us know why. We're not scared of criticism. And join us next time as we'll do it again. And thanks for joining us. Like always, gang, gang, baby.